Hi everybody, my name is Megan Pancoast and this is my Module 1 theory. Just a little bit about me. I graduated from Millersville University in 2015 with a bachelor's degree in middle-level education with a concentration in science. Since graduating from Millersville, I have worked several different jobs, including a year at Helen Thaxton Charter School where I taught 6th grade science and social studies, Northern York County School District where I taught K-12 aquatics, and Allen Middle School where I taught science and social studies for 6th grade. Originally, I'm from outside Philadelphia in a town called Hatboro, but every summer I go back and I work at the Franklin Institute. Presently, I live in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Couple hobbies: I am a swing dancer, I love reading, especially fantasy, and I enjoy anything science related. Fun fact about me, my favorite cartoon character is Perry the Platypus, mostly because one of my students this year nicknamed me Perry when I wore this hat to school. What is STEM? STEM is a teaching style that integrates content from science, technology, engineering, and mathematics content, which is characterized by the use of real-world application, collaboration with peers, and the use of hands-on activities. Why is STEM education important? I think it prepares students for the real world, like Neil deGrasse Tyson says in his quote, "Whether or not you ever use the math again that you learned in school, the act of having learned the math established a wiring in your brain that did not exist before, and it's the wiring in your brain that makes you a problem solver." Being a problem solver is an incredibly important skill to any student that's graduating and entering the workforce. I also believe that it promotes a growth mindset in students, which means that if they fail at something, they keep trying and trying and trying until they actually learn the content that they are going about learning. I also believe that it allows for a deeper knowledge of the content as a whole. Okay, one example that I have for how I incorporated STEM into my classroom was the maglev train lab that I did during the last week of school. If you're interested in this lab, I included the link to it in my presentation. In this lab, I covered many different areas of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I developed and used models by making a maglev car. They planned and carried out investigations. They tested how the cars, and they decided how to test it. They analyzed and interpreted data. They assessed the speeds of the cars on the track. They used mathematical and computational thinking and measuring when measuring distance and time of cars. They designed solutions, so they had to go back and redesign if something didn't work quite the way they wanted it to work in the first place. They obtained, evaluated, and communicated information. They made decisions about which final design they wanted to use based on the data that they collected. They made informed decisions about technology, given its relationship to the society and the environment. At the beginning of the lesson, they actually went through and read about the technology of maglev trains in the first place, how it helps the lives of the people that are from that area, and why the maglev is so important. They used appropriate tools strategically. Students actually chose how to conduct the experiment. I gave them a bunch of different things that they could have done, but they actually went about and said, "Oh, I want to use a ruler rather than a meter stick," or "I want to use the clock versus my timer on my phone, or the timer that is in my baskets." And finally, they constructed viable arguments based on the data that they collected. I'm really, really excited for this course. More excited than any other course I've ever done. My goals for this specifically are to learn how to better integrate the STEM lessons into my everyday class, discuss methods of assessing student learning during a STEM lesson, and discovering meaningful ways of creating lessons from the ground up, going from absolutely nothing to having a very STEM-based lesson. Here's a couple of my resources. And thank you everybody for listening to my presentation.